Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Nate here with Nate's Tech Update, and in this video I'm going to be starting something I call Thursday Thoughts. And I'm going to be doing this every Thursday, and basically I'm going to be talking about the rumors and other minor tech news that don't necessarily deserve their own video, but deserve to be mentioned. So basically it'll be a nice review or recap of all the tech news that have taken place during the week, and you can simply watch it and get a nice overview of things. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the HP TouchPad. A lot of reviews have started to come in on the most prominent tech websites. I got my review primarily from Engadget.com, and they basically said it's no iPad killer and it's definitely not going to compete with the iPad or the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 for many reasons. The first reason being specs. Basically both the Tab and the iPad are both much thinner and much lighter than the HP TouchPad. Secondly, you're going to find a lot more apps available for both of these devices that have been optimized for the larger screen versus on the HP TouchPad. There are definitely some out there, but most of them are not optimized at this point, which is kind of disappointing. Another thing that I found kind of weird was the fact that there is no back camera on the HP TouchPad, but there is a front-facing camera. There's actually no native app through the actual WebOS that you can use to actually take photos. So that's kind of weird. So at the same price point as both the iPad 2 and the Samsung Galaxy Tab, it can't really compete considering the specs are worse and there's a lot less app selection. Speaking of tablet applications, the iPad 2 now has over 100,000 apps available in the App Store. This is one of the main selling points for the iPad that a lot of consumers like because you can do the most with it with such a large selection of applications. So next up, I wanted to talk about refresh rumors. There are a lot of rumors going around about when the MacBook Air, the Mac Mini, and the classic white MacBook would be refreshed. We haven't heard too much about necessarily the white MacBook other than the supplies at this point are definitely becoming constrained at third-party retailers, possibly meaning a refresh soon or maybe even a discontinuation of the actual product. Secondly, with the MacBook Air, we are definitely seeing constrained supplies, and a lot of rumors are going around that Lion could be released alongside with it on July 14th. I think this is definitely a possible option because Lion was really introduced with the MacBook Air a lot and all the different things that you will be able to do alongside with the MacBook Air and Lion together. And the Mac Mini is also rumored to be getting a refresh sometime soon. Hopefully you'll see it with the latest Intel processors, maybe the i3 or the i5 processor. Right now I got the Mac Mini back there. It's running the Intel Core 2 Duo, so it's pretty old, but it functions alright. Undoubtedly, with all these products, we'll definitely see a Thunderbolt port hopefully added to all of them, as Apple just released their Thunderbolt cable, which is now available in the Apple Store for $50. I also wanted to talk about the rumors surrounding the iPhone 5. At this point, there are just so many rumors about what the actual design will be and when we'll see it. I think we'll probably see it sometime in September. I think a lot of rumors coincide with that. About design, though, we're really kind of vague on what will happen. Some analysts are saying it's not going to be too much of a design change. It'll be basically the same, maybe the A5 processor, maybe an 8 megapixel camera. Some people are saying we'll see a complete redesign, thinner, maybe a different actual construction of the iPhone itself, and maybe even a 4.3 display. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe as we get closer and closer to that fall time frame, we'll have an idea of what we might be seeing. And last but not least, I wanted to mention Final Cut Pro X, and this application has been getting absolutely slammed in the Mac App Store with terrible reviews. And the primary reason for that is it doesn't really stand up to the Final Cut Pro name. Professional users coming from Final Cut Pro 7 really got a downgrade with this application because features are actually missing, and they were really prominent features too. And the other thing is you can't even import Final Cut Pro 7, which was the previous version of Final Cut Pro. You can't even import projects from that application into the new one, which is really disappointing for a lot of people. So Apple responded to this by posting an FAQ page on their Apple Store website with the listing of Final Cut Pro X. Basically gave you an idea of what you might see in updates to come for some features and what features they are going to implement at all. So if you're thinking about getting it, I would highly recommend checking out that page. Make sure there are no actual features that you're going to want that are not available. Secondly, I wanted to give you my thoughts about Final Cut Pro. I have it, and I think it's a very nice application. It's basically an upgrade from iMovie. It looks very similar, and it's got a lot of great features. So if you're a fan of iMovie, but you want more, you might want to think about checking out Final Cut Pro. It's definitely user-friendly. It's easier to figure out on your own. Final Cut Pro 7 was definitely a pro application. Final Cut Pro X definitely doesn't really stand up to that name. It's pretty simple and easy to figure out. Secondly, you might have noticed that intro that I had at the beginning of this video. I made that using the Motion 5 program, which I think is a really nice application. You can do a lot of neat stuff with that, and I'm hoping to do some stuff with that in the future. So I don't think they've been getting slammed on that Motion 5 or compressor at all, but definitely Final Cut Pro X. If you're a professional, stay away from it. So in closing, please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about Thursday Thoughts, if you prefer it this way or if you'd rather me upload 30-second videos about things that might be worth mentioning, really might not be worth mentioning at all. I think this is a better format, but we'll see. Also, please leave a comment below letting me know what you think about the HP TouchPad, the refresh rumors, and Final Cut Pro. I would also really appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe and like the video, and as always, have a nice day.